21 fights, 20 wins, 19 by knockout. On paper, the WBO heavyweight champion, Fabio WARDLEY looks untouchable, but records don't show the firefights he's had to walk through, or the defensive gambles that nearly cost him everything. On May the 9th, WARDLEY faces his greatest threat, and the danger isn't just the dynamite in Daniel Dubois' fists. The real danger is a pattern of vulnerability that a redemption-hungry Daniel Dubois looks perfectly built to exploit. So forget the zero in WARDLEY's loss column for a moment. We're breaking down the 5 things that will impact this fight's outcome.
Wow, that's amazing, Baz. That's good work. That's a nice little intro there.
They should get me on. They should get me on. So
They should get you on those. On those.
Diamond Demiante. Who's that geezer? I'm here.
Oh, Def Sani, isn't it? It's Def Sani.
I love him really.
They do a great job. They do a great job. But if they're lacking, Baz can step in. There you go.
That's it.
But let's get to it, Baz. We're looking at 5 reasons that will impact this fight. There's 5 things that we've identified through extensive research. Extensive. We put that time in the background so you don't have to.
Deep dive.
Going deep.
I'm going deep.
Let's go for number 1.
Number 1, the trainer sub. How do you think this is going to have an impact on the fighters?
Oh, it's a massive impact. There's so much going on there. So let's get to it first of all. This is a great fight. Daniel Dubois versus Fabio WARDLEY. Sorry, let me get that in the right order. Fabio WARDLEY versus Daniel Dubois. Fabio's obviously got the belt, and it's in Tottenham on the zone on pay-per-view.
Tottenham.
We've done the plug there. But yeah, let's look at the trainers. You've got Daniel Dubois. He's gone from Don Charles, then he went to Tony Sims, and then now he's gone back to Don Charles without even having a fight with Tony Sims.
Disgusting.
Just trying to unpack that whole situation. So much going on. And even before the Usyk 2 fight, so as they were going in, there was a whole of those issues there with Partygate. But
Partygate, I forgot about Partygate.
It just looks weird from the outside, doesn't it, Baz, with that whole Don Charles situation?
Yeah, and it's one thing I've never thought it'd go back to him specifically, because at the end of the day, after their last separation, like Daniel Dubois, was not giving him no credit. He was not talking to him like after the fights, pushing him away, things like that.
I mean, going back to X is never great, is it, Baz? Like, not speaking from an example, but you
can't
you've always got that baggage in the background, haven't you?
In it, that baggage is going to come back to haunt you.
This happened and that happened.
Yeah.
So.
You never know. Maybe he was there for him in the hard times in the background, and we just didn't realise.
He did great work with Daniel Dubois' mental situation, getting him over those barriers where in the past where people have said he's quit, and we'll come on to that and then in like the next couple of points. But everyone said he'd done a great job there with his work rate as well was improved. That jab as well, but we'll come on to it. But what about the fact that he went to Tony Sims? Like, it was it like 8 weeks? He didn't even have a fight with him, did he?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they see something in that camp they just weren't happy with. In the gym. Maybe something.
Because obviously Daniel Dubois, his dad plays a massive part in like guiding him and getting him the fights.
Yeah, he always credits him, doesn't he, for his wins. That was part of the reason why I was a bit baffled, because he never credited Don Charles for that. So
and so he went to Tony Sims. It's weird because there was an interview I saw with Daniel Dubois in the gym just before he broke away from Tony Sims, and that was the most relaxed I'd seen him. And actually, some of the comments on that video as well said that was the most relaxed they've seen him as well. So it wasn't just me thinking it. And then he's shifted back to come to Don Charles. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking maybe he's gone from being the number 1 guy in the gym to being one of many. So at the time, and we don't know what's going to happen in the Conor Benn situation,
Yeah.
He was in there. There was a number of other fighters in that gym, and everyone has sort of time slots, from what I understand, where they'll do work with Tony Sims and the other trainers.
Yeah.
Whereas he would have been the number one guy with Don Charles, and maybe that's where was it Stan his dad, Stan Dubois has probably looked at it and said, well, why is my son not getting the treatment that he should be getting
Yeah.
as a top heavyweight contender?
Yeah, it's possibility, Sav. It's a possibility.
So we've seen a bit of a pattern in the past there with Stan Dubois taking control. You had the whole situation with Caroline Dubois on Shane McGuigan, and obviously Daniel Dubois did a spell with him as well, and there was that fallout there. So that kind of showed. I think the whole issue with that as well was Stan wanted him to be number one in the gym
Yeah.
and wanted the sole focus on Daniel Dubois, and Shane was just like, well, I've got other fighters as well, and Caroline Dubois ended up staying there. So yeah, I guess that kind of explains the move back to Don Charles, where he's going to be treated as number one, right?
Yeah. It's got to be it. That's got to be it. I can't see no other reason for
But
it.
is
Sav.
it, guys? Is it the right thing? Was it the right move to go back? Do you reckon?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's some would argue that he's done his better work when he's been under Don Charles. But then I would argue that he's had some vulnerabilities when he's been working with him.
We talked enough about Daniel Dubois there, but what about Fabio WARDLEY in the training situation? We've got Ben Davison. He trained AJ before he went up against Daniel Dubois. What is going to be the difference between Fabio WARDLEY and AJ? The same trainer, different fighters going against Triple D. We can't just gloss over that, can we?
We can't. But the difference is you can't really compare Fabio WARDLEY's chin to AJ at the moment. And as much as I love AJ, but chin-wise,
So you're saying
Fabio
his chin was
is
the
definitely.
difference. But what? No impact from there from the trainer?
No, I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I didn't see a lot of change in AJ's performances after Ben Davidson. I can't say that there was a significant change. Whereas,
But everyone was saying now he's the best AJ that we've seen up until then.
yeah, but they were against not against elite level fighters, so we can't really say that, can we? I mean,
Look,
what do you
I'm going to
think
give
there
you my
was?
2
Do you
cents.
think there was yeah? Do you
I'm
think there was
giving
a
you my
different?
2 cents. There's rumored issues when AJ went into that fight with Triple D. They were saying he was late getting to the ring. The warm up, he didn't have enough time to warm up, and that caused problems. So I think that kind of excuses it. But the game plan is the thing that I was looking out for, and I saw with AJ when he was trying to do similar things to what Usyk was doing against Daniel Dubois, with like leaving his hand out there, and trying to throw him off, and it didn't quite work. So it could be that room warm up wasn't there. The rushed entrance into the ring caused an issue, but tactically, Ben Davison has been on point with other fighters. Look at the Lee Wood fight against Warrington. That was he got that spot
the game plan was there,
and he's had some other notable wins as well. He's a great trainer from my point of view.
True. And let's look back at the last couple of Fabio WARDLEY fights as well. He's actually given those key pieces of advice, which has then led to the knockouts.
To the wins.
He's literally given the same scenarios and then told him, oh yeah, left hook, right hand, blah blah blah, and got the wins. So
with regards to that Hooney fight.
Now looking on it, I think you're right. I think he's probably pivotal in Fabio WARDLEY's success.
So if you were going to give a tick, for the trainer situation, you'd probably give a point there for Fabio WARDLEY, maybe a 0 for. Although you did have a picture with Don Charles, so you can't. It's not Don Charles' fault. It's not Don Charles' fault.
It's not.
It's the situation.
No.
All right. Anyway,
good old Don.
Do you want to do the intro for number 2?
Number 2. Well, I think we're going to have to talk a little bit about heart and durability, Sav.
Massive impact on this fight. And let's look at it. There's been situations in the past where Daniel Dubois has been accused of quitting. There was against Usyk 1, Usyk 2, and against Joe Joyce as well, where he took a knee.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, Baz. Well, I mean, any
There
thoughts
was
on that?
there was there was there was vulnerabilities, Sav. There was vulnerabilities. Even in the Kevin Lorena fight, from what I remember, he theoretically probably should have lost that fight, but he pulled it through in the end.
Mm,
But not without his faults.
mm. But I mean, let's look at just the heart, Baz. So you say that Lorena fight, he did manage to get through in the end, but Wardley, no one can question Fabio Wardley's heart, can they?
Nah, no chance, no chance. The geezer's a beast. I like it. He's got the heart of a Viking.
Yeah, he just
He just keeps
yeah,
going.
he's got that never say die attitude, hasn't he, Fabio Wardley? He could be losing the fight every round and he'll just
Well,
have
this
that
is it.
equalizer shot and he'll keep going regardless. I think looking at that Hooney fight, he was getting
He's
tapped
getting
a lot of
outboxed.
times, outpointed, outskilled, but he
Yeah,
didn't give
yeah.
up. Even though his
He
head dipped a
didn't.
little bit, he kept going to
Yeah,
the end and he managed to get the knockout. And yeah, so from a heart point of view, Fabio Wardley is
he's got the upper hand again.
yeah. So is that another point to
That's
Fabio?
that's. I think
But
that's
would
another
you
point, Sav.
would you be one of those who says that Daniel Dubois gave up in some of the other fights?
Um, See, this is a point for contention because some would say against Joe Joyce, his eye socket was busted.
Yeah,
So
the trainer should have stepped in there, shouldn't they?
yeah,
They should have taken it out
realistically,
away from
trainer
that. Yeah,
exactly. So you can't really blame him, I suppose, for that one, just because it
he
could
should
have
have been
caused
safe from
long-term
himself.
damage,
Yeah, yeah,
and yeah, and then his boxing career could be over. You never know.
yeah, yeah.
But Usyk, Usyk fights. I don't know. I'm gonna have to say he just didn't have the heart for it, because after that Lobo gate, there was he didn't look like he wanted it. After he just
Mm,
didn't like he wasn't up for it anymore, and I
look,
feel like there's just that some turning points in some of his fights where he just gets a little bit like down, and then he's like starts feeling sorry for himself. And then a boxing roll, when you're up
discombobulated,
against
Baz.
it, he got combobulated.
Discombobulated. Yeah.
Yeah,
Look, I've got my views on it. So
go on.
Daniel Dubois has been fighting from a very young age. But from
Yeah,
what I understand, he's not someone who chose to fight. It was kind of his dad groomed him into this fighter. He took him to the gym. He pushed him and brought him up to this point. A lot of other great fighters in the past are fighting because they want to fight. And even though there's stuff they could have done in differently, they haven't. So with Daniel Dubois, he he didn't choose this life, Baz. It's something that he's had to do.
it
So
was
when you're not
thrust upon
choosing
him.
it, so like let's say for example his dad decided he was going to make Daniel Dubois a brain surgeon or something. Like it would have gone down that route, but he set him up to be a boxer. And when you're not doing it for something you've chosen, then like that's where I feel it feels that falls down a little bit. The only thing I would say is like up to the Usyk 2 point, there's been instances where Daniel Dubois has gone through things and he's learned every time. And we
Yeah,
were seeing
yeah.
in those improvements. In the Usyk 2 fight, it kind of sort of fell away a bit. So that's the only thing. So yeah, I think there's a question mark there for me. But if you're gonna put the two fighters together on based on heart, you've got to give it to Fabio Wardley just because of
Yeah,
he's never been beaten.
yeah.
Um,
And
yeah,
he's never looked like he was wanting to give up either.
yeah. Okay, Baz,
Yeah. That brings us on to point number 3, Sav.
three. Let's get into it.
Defense.
Defense. So
Who has the better defense?
I've been doing the film work on this, Baz. I've been looking at the
Yeah,
fights. Um, Look, let's start with Daniel Dubois because it's a tricky one there because everything looks great from a fundamentals point of view, but he
yeah,
does keep getting tagged straight down the middle, and it's a
yeah.
common theme in all of his fights. And I'm not really seeing any improvements there where he'll
Nah,
keep getting jabbed straight down the
those,
middle. The hands
those
look good.
straight punches.
The hands look good. Um,
Yeah.
but that shot always comes straight down the middle. So, like,
yeah, we saw that in the Hergovic fight. It was prevalent, wasn't it? Like
he
the
kept
amount
getting
of 1-2s that he got down the pipe,
it was
and
too
he
easy,
just
way too easy.
he just didn't correct it. He just didn't correct it the whole fight. He just got lucky that he outdid Hergovic in the end,
Well, there
and
was
he had that little
the
bit
head
more
winning
power.
quite a bit, and again, this is
Yeah,
something that we're going to come on to later on. But Hergovic
yeah,
got cut up from the head going in when he was
from the
coming
head
up.
clashes.
He was
Yeah,
lifting his
it
head.
was a bit of a dirty fight, that one, and some low
Um,
blows from what I remember.
so
But
yeah, the defense
defensive
is
wise,
lacking there. Lack of head movement. That's something I've noticed as well. Lack of feints. He's not doing a lot of the build up work in regards to that. But I think the
but
main thing that
it's worked for him. It's got him this far.
yeah, it has. It has. And that's more, I think, on the offense side, and the work rate has improved. But I
Yeah,
think the defense side of things, he can get caught. He he technically has got a good chin because he's been tagged so many times. Um,
yeah, yeah.
like especially looking at that Hergovic fight. But
He got hit a
Baz,
lot.
what about Wardley?
Wardley, Wardley on the other hand, he has vulnerabilities in defense in terms of he'll lose fights up until the points he gets in the knockout just from, I think, sheer number of punches that he does eat up. But I wouldn't say there's one punch that he's generally weak to. I
Mm,
would say it's just a culmination of ignoring defense altogether and just going all out.
yeah,
He's a bit like, when it's like Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
yeah,
Like when that you just put them up against each other and they just keep swinging like that. I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
saying it's sloppy or anything like that. I mean, it's more just in terms of once he's got his red vision in and he goes full Super Saiyan mode, he has no choice but to avoid all defense and just go all out. And
yeah.
I think
So
that's probably
his offense is his defense, Baz.
that's it. That's it. I
But
mean, he's got a bit lucky in that respect, especially against Joseph Parker, because I think he was losing that fight up until
mm,
what round did he win in? I think
I
it was
think it
like the
was
10th or
the
something like that. Let's
second or
have a
third
look.
round where he sort of started turning it around a little bit.
Yeah, and he
He
got
took
the
some shots, but then
win
he put a nice he
in the
put
11th.
yeah. But
Yeah,
I think I wouldn't say he
I
was
think he was
losing that
losing
fight
that
though,
fight.
Baz.
So you don't think Fabio Wardley was losing that fight against Joseph Parker up until the knockout?
I could see it building up like during the fight, and there was a feeling that Fabio Wardley was going to turn it around in there. So I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I need to rewatch it fully, Baz. I saw part of the fight just before we jumped on
Nah,
it. I need to
I
watch
think
it again.
you're dizzy, bruv. You must have this little layoff from the pod has made you a bit delulu, Sav.
But
There's,
Baz,
there's
look,
no way. There's no way he
look,
wasn't losing that fight.
look, I'm gonna bring some decorum back, Baz. Looking at Fabio Wardley and again the fundamentals, looking at that low lead hand, he keeps the shoulder up. So Daniel
Yeah,
Dubois' hands are a lot higher, even though he eats those shots down the middle. Fabio Wardley's left hand is a lot lower, and he tries to use the almost a turtle shell type defense.
yeah,
And he just sort of uses that to sort of flick up the jab. But look, we said it's about defense, but looking at the offense as well, Fabio Wardley does go to the body and the head, whereas
yeah,
looking at Daniel Dubois, he headhunts. He sort
yeah,
of
yeah.
gates that body side a lot. So I think, yeah, if
And
it,
this is one of the problems against Usyk, really, wasn't it? Like Usyk was just working his body the whole time.
it was
It
a
was
mixture of
always
both. It was
up,
a
down,
mixture of
up,
both.
down. There was levels to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so but yeah, it is a worried amount of times Fabio Wardley does get hit though. The only thing is in the fights that he's had, he's looked different in different fights. Like he's looked better in certain things.
Yeah,
So yeah, it depends what Fabio Wardley we're gonna get in this fight. I'm tempted to say that if you were gonna score it fighter for fighter defense, they're probably I don't know where we put a tick for either or not. I think we'd leave it both
yeah.
as
Might be a draw on that one, isn't
10-10,
it?
Baz. A 10-10.
The 10-10, 10-10 rounds. We don't like
Yeah.
giving them often, but
Yeah. But look, Baz, what's the next one? Let's roll it out there. Let's get through it.
So, Sav, that brings me on to point number 4. Boxing politics. How is it
Mm.
going to play a part with these two boxers?
Look, Baz, it shouldn't play any part at all, but we all know in boxing that it has a massive impact on fighters and their careers. We've seen some really bad decisions, even the last year or so, where boxing
Yeah,
politics has had an impact, whether it be at
yeah.
uh,
Home
belt
fighters.
belt level, whether it be promoters, whether it be whoever's making the decision, like whether it be the boxing board of control, even referees. So I think it's had a
Yeah,
massive impact there. I mean, looking at it, so looking at again, we'll start with Daniel Dubois. I feel like in the
yeah,
past he's been a bit protected. So he's been Frank Warren's guy, he's been the home fighter.
yeah.
He's had favorable treatment without
He
wanting,
has. He has.
allegedly had favorable treatment from the boxing board of control. When you look at that Lorena situation, he was given more time to recover. The bell went quickly as well when Lorena was on
Yeah,
top.
yeah,
Um, there's been things that have been done where I feel he's been protected, even in the Hrgović fight where he was throwing the head up. The referee didn't really warn him on that much. He didn't get any points
yeah.
deducted, and the fight got stopped. I think it was a cut in the end, wasn't it, on the Hrgović one? So
From I
he's
remember, yeah.
always been Frank Warren's guy, and traditionally, when you Frank Warren's guy and you're the home fighter, you get a few pluses there. So
You get a little nod every now and again, like a
yeah,
little.
but the problem is after the Usyk fiasco, Usyk 2, I think there's been a little bit of a falling out between him, his dad, and Frank Warren. That's why I think there was that move to the Tony Sims gym. So looking at
Yeah,
it, I
yeah.
think Stan was probably thinking, well, actually, we've been with Frank Warren for all this time. We put all our eggs in one basket. Maybe we should assess the other side a little bit.
Survey the surroundings.
Yeah, and that's why they went to the Tony Sims gym, the Matchroom gym, because I felt like
Yeah,
maybe they thought, oh, hang on, there's been a bit of falling out here with Frank Warren. They were sort of looking at both sides, and this is where we've got Sam Jones who's coming as the manager as well. Before you had sort of Frank Warren, Stan Dubois, and Daniel Dubois. Whereas
yeah.
now you've got Sam Jones in there. There's been a bit of falling out there where Stan Dubois was trying to sneak people in. He was threatening not to let Daniel Dubois in. Um,
Yeah,
he was threatening not to let Daniel Dubois fight against Usyk unless other people from the entourage were let in. And I think that rubbed
yeah. Forcing
up
him
the
to go to
wrong way.
parties.
So I think there's been an impact there from that side of things. So
Yeah.
he's not necessarily Frank Warren's guy anymore. And
I mean, out the two of them now, I mean, would you say that possibly Fabio Wardley is just the favourite out of the two? Because he's a
on
little
that
bit more
side, yeah, I
sellable.
think
He's a little bit more sellable as well, stuff like in terms
mm,
of he can
he speaks
talk.
well.
He talks well.
Yeah,
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 he doesn't have to. Frank Warren doesn't have to go to defend him every 2 minutes. Like he can defend himself in press conferences and things like that.
yeah. Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
interesting because in the face-to-face that they've done in the past, you've had Frank Warren there with him, and this time he's gone it alone, Baz. So
yeah, yeah.
it's kind of like, well, you make your bed, you lie in it. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, in respect to this, who do you think has the upper hand politics-wise then? So,
so I get not just looking at the politics, but looking at longevity. So it's a mixed one. Ideally, you'd go with a younger fighter who's Daniel Dubois. He's much
yeah,
younger than Fabio Wardley. There's more. He's more bankable in the long term, but has he bust the load? I don't know because he's had a lot of chances where he's had those title shots. So maybe
yeah,
looking at Fabio Wardley, there's more fights there for him. And look, we've got it in the thumbnail. We've got Tyson Fury there. I think if Fabio Wardley wins this fight, you can make a massive fight with Tyson Fury if he gets
and then
through
Frank Warren
Mattos,
keeps it all in house that way.
keeps it in house. That's
Yeah,
something that I think the British public would want to see. And
yeah,
if that doesn't work out, you've also got Usyk as well. I think Usyk he dropped the belt so he can become 3-time world champion. And he was just kind of waiting for Fabio Wardley to build up his profile a little bit more, and then that fight between them could be massive. So if Fabio Wardley gets through this, he's got that potential fight there with Tyson Fury,
Yeah.
Usyk. If
The
AJ
fighting
comes
man.
back, there's an option there as well. So whereas no one wants to see Daniel Dubois Usyk free, no,
Nah. He's laying
he
that groundwork already, isn't he?
would you want to see Daniel Dubois versus AJ again? I think I don't know. Maybe it'd be
Maybe.
interesting to see,
Maybe.
but where
Yeah.
AJ is at this point in time in his career and everything that's happened in the past, I don't know if I'd want to see it. I don't know. So there's more bigger fights there to be made with Fabio Wardley.
Yeah. I have you right, so I have you right. So we'll give that edge to Fabio Wardley in that respect.
Yeah.
All
All right,
right.
Baz.
Well,
Last one, point number 5.
leads us on to the best wins sub. Who has the better
Ooh.
wins?
That's
Let's get the old records up, shall we?
box rec.
Have a little look
We
at the
haven't
old
we haven't got
records.
to box recs for a little while, have we? So
I know, yeah. Box recs feel a bit left out.
look, let's look at the last
All right.
one. So we had Fabio
Yeah.
Wardley
Well, we'll
versus
say last 3.
yeah, last 3. Let's go. You've got Fabio Wardley versus Joseph Parker. Great win.
Yep. Solid. You got Fabio Wardley versus Justice Hooney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justice Hooney, a little bit of an unknown
Yeah.
quantity, but those in the boxing world
Yeah.
say technically very good. Although
Yeah. He fought
that
well
chin
on
was
that.
always a question mark for Justice Hooney. But yeah,
It was. But in terms of like, I suppose, credibility, yeah, so.
And
And
then
then you got Fraser Clark,
Fraser Clark. Yeah. I mean, he
British
dispatched of him.
level.
I think the way he dispatched of him in the second fight, massive plus points there for Wardley.
Yeah, that 100%. All right, let's look at it on the flip side then. Mr. Daniel Dubois. You have Alexander Usyk.
Obviously, fought him, didn't come up short. But I mean, there's the
No.
experience he would have picked up from that fight.
Yeah, and he showed good credibility for himself in that fight as well. AJ obviously blew him out of the water. We were shocked.
Yeah, that's a great one.
On live stream at the time, weren't we?
Although there were again
that was
question marks
craziness.
with AJ being late to the ring. So
Yeah,
yeah.
but I don't think you can take
only
anything
fight
away
with
from
what's in
him.
front of you. Let's go.
Yeah, and then Mr. Filip Hrgović, again, another good, credible fighter.
Then we covered that off a bit earlier on, but he's technically still got the win. He ate the shots, was able to grind it out. And before that, he even had Miller as well. So what are you saying, Baz? Are you saying Daniel Dubois is the best?
I feel like Daniel Dubois' record is obviously stronger, so it's stronger.
Yeah.
Especially in the last 3 fights alone. So in that respect, I feel like Daniel Dubois has got the upper hand there. He's got the experience.
Yeah.
He's got the pedigree.
He's
been there, he's done it.
Bigger punches, right?
He has.
And that's the thing with Fabio Wardley, because in all of the fighters he's gone against, I don't know if anyone's hit as hard as Daniel Dubois.
No.
He's got that great jab, Daniel Dubois, when he doubles it up.
Yeah, and even in people who historically have had good chins, like say Jerome Miller and people like that, he still grinded out the wins. Where I don't know if you could say the same for Fabio's. At the moment, no one's really had a great chin.
Mm.
So maybe Joseph Parker in that respect.
Yeah, although it's been dropped a bit. But okay, so all right, look, we're running. I'm conscious of time, Baz. So Daniel Dubois, we're going to give him a tick there in terms of from best wins, but he has been beaten, whereas Fabio Wardley hasn't. So
it's true.
We'll give him that. So Baz, let's look at it from the top in terms of the 5 key areas that we're focusing on. Trainer situation. We're gonna give it a point there for Fabio Wardley.
Yeah.
Heart situation, Fabio Wardley.
Yeah.
What was the next one, Baz?
Defense.
This
was a
10-10?
This was a tough one, wasn't it? I think that was a 10-10 round, that one.
Yeah. And then boxing, politics as well, Baz. Again, we'll probably be back.
I think we
Fabio
leaned a
Wardley
bit more towards Wardley that way,
won.
didn't we?
Yeah. And then the best win, probably got to give that to Daniel Dubois. So
Yeah. So all round, weighing it up,
anything can
you would
happen.
have to
It's a
give this a
50-50
Fabio
fight.
Wardley. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. As always, Baz, I'm going to wait till fight week to assess the situation, see how they're looking.
You
The
being
one
like
thing
that
I'm going to say
again.
is, though, Baz,
Go
Daniel
on.
Dubois looked a bit out of sorts in that press conference. The first time I really seen him, he looked a bit ruffled, unshaven. I don't know, like maybe there's something going on there in the
Maybe
background.
maybe he's gone to the trenches stuff. Maybe he's been training hard in the background. You just don't
I don't
realise.
know. I don't know, Baz. It didn't look great from me, my point of view, looking
No,
at it. Fabio Wardy looked fresh. He looked happy.
he did.
So
He did it. He
look,
looked up for
I
it.
I think there's a lot to happen between now and then. It's going to be a great fight. Tell us what your thoughts are. Do you agree with our assessment of this fight?
Let us know.
Drop a comment, and yeah, it's good to be back, Baz.
It's good to be back. It is tough. Yeah.